I have footage from this past Monday, the 20th. So I think we're gonna hit that. Or wait a minute, Sunday. Yeah, we're gonna hit what we would have done this past Wednesday. We'll look at it tonight, unless it sucks, and then we'll look at yesterday's footage. So hopefully you guys didn't suck. So let's get into it. I think, let's see, so Jordan and Mitchell, was this? Yeah, this was the 20th. Oh, right, yeah, I had to leave early from this one, so I didn't get to see any of this footage. All right, so Jordan and Mitchell, something about, I don't know, maybe Jordan and Mitchell were a first roll on another day. It just seems familiar. So if this is familiar to you guys, tell me. And we'll look at yesterday's footage. And of course the screen is blinking again. Sorry, while you guys get warmed up, since you're not doing anything super crazy yet. As I say that, Joe gets on Peter's back. All right. What's up, Joe? Okay, did we do this one last week? All right, thank you, Mike. That's why you're here. Okay, so let me exit this. I thought this looked familiar, but I wasn't sure. And just because I have Saturday's footage. Cool, so we got right off the rip, Danny standing guillotine on Joe. Don't really know how he set it up, but Joe, your head looks a little too low there. Danny's just taking advantage of it. I don't have too much more to say beyond that. And then, who is this? Bowling with Cole in the middle. Is that Tyler? His hair looks short if that's Tyler, but it's curly. It's the first time I trained with Tyler. Okay, gotcha. We got Coop and Sawyer as well. And Joe with a funky grip on this takedown here. So let's see. So this looks like Danny is setting up almost like a kind of a, I want to say he's working off of a Russian tie a little bit. It's like a, yeah, I guess that's a Russian. It's just not like pulled all the way across the chest. You can see Danny's grip is, he's got bicep and wrist grip here. Joe with the collar tie. Looks like Joe just goes for the sacrifice. Gets a trip, takes him over. And we got Tyler taking mount on Cole. God, nothing like a holiday break and not training to make me want to train so badly and kill all of you the very first chance I get. I hope you guys are ready for me to come in and thrash you, but probably be out of breath after like 2 rounds and feel very out of shape. So yeah, dude, that's how I make sure that you guys know that I'm engaged with you. By repeating whatever nonsense you say, unless it's something Josh is typing that is just going to be read out loud to me, emojis and all. Cool, using that over back grip. Let me set this up. So Tyler kind of gives you the underhook here. Oh, he gives you double unders. And that's going to be a very difficult thing for him to work backwards from, especially with the butterfly hooks that Cole has in. As soon as Cole can establish these double unders, he could forward shift Tyler's hips back and away, pretty much completely taking away any chance of a base. He's not going to be able to put his hands to the mat in any meaningful way. I mean, I know his hand's on the mat now, but as Cole goes to move him, it's going to be pretty easy for him to get him going so far that his extended arms won't be too effective in keeping balance. It sucks, man. I feel like in the last year or two, um, when I miss a beat on my schedule, I notice it in my cardio, and I hate it. Like, I used to go full hour with you guys, no break, no water even sometimes. And now you guys, well, it's probably more because you guys have all gotten, like, significantly better. And I'm dealing with a bunch of blue belts and purple belts who want to kill me, and Mike. And Mike and I look at each other by the end of the open mat, and we're like, yeah, no, not today. Not today. No, we'll get around next time. Not today. So Danny is stuck in top half guard here. Sawyer's looking a little hungry here. Trying to take Coop down. Heavy on the collar tie. I like Sawyer was doing really good trying to keep Cooper moving. And that's going to be key, especially against a bigger opponent. It's right for me. I mean, you know, big reach on the single. That's not going to be too effective. But the circling and the moving, there are chances here that are hard to see. For, you know, really good foot sweeps, right? You know, we see Cooper's feet getting close together here, crossing up a little bit. That's where some less energy intensive takedowns are really, really useful. But Cooper gets behind him, nicely pulls his brother down to the mat. And teens, yes, and the teens. What if there's not a next time? What do you mean? What's that supposed to mean? So we just take advantage of the moment. It's hard to do when you're extremely tired because you're an out of shape mid to late 30-year-old. I mean, you're almost that old too, Cole. Danny again on this, working his front headlock game. Great sweep. Carpe denim indeed. So Danny gets this overhook. We're looking right here. And falls to his back a little bit, but not a huge deal because he's getting Joe's feet, or I'm sorry, he's getting Joe's hips away from his feet. He's pulling him, you know, essentially pulling Joe's hips above his own hips, and that's what allows him to dictate. So, like, he can even, you know, we always emphasize you guys falling hard to a shoulder to get these moves. You know, again, you can kind of, I'm not going to say this is a breakable, like, white belt rule or something, but just notice the difference. Even if Danny has fallen more to his back on this one, he's gotten Joe so off base that he can dictate where the move ends up, and then he enters into a really nice cross ashi. That was pretty slick. So this is it's Danny's right leg, so kind of a wing sweep here. Yeah, I'd say it's a wing sweep. The knee is in front, not your standard Sumigaeshi hook sweep. This is something we actually see Peters. I know you love to do this one. Definitely one of my favorite sweeps, but super cool. He's got his right leg in, and right to here, he's basically in a cross ashigarami. He has his right leg over Joe's left leg. He just has to ditch the upper body connection, gather the legs, and now he can attack Joe. Really, really slick entry. What did Coop do? Coop, did you hurt your brother? Looks like it. Switching up to a dorsal Kimura position. Kimura grip. A little bit of hand fighting going on. Having to break the grip. Get the hand behind the back. Looks like you got it, bud. All right. And round. Danny was about to go on the warpath there. Sorry, I just want to look at what happened with the cross ashi. All right, so Danny, let's see. Looked like he was just kind of going through some different leg configurations. He does a good job setting up, like he's controlling the position here by not so much by getting his hands on the secondary leg. We can see he's got the primary leg under control, but he's fallen to his right side, taking Joe to that same side, and that makes it more difficult for Joe to hide his left heel in this case, on the primary leg. But now as Joe starts to get his leg back and turning away, Danny makes a smart move by grabbing the knuckle line of the toes, and he starts to bring this center chest. That's going to make it, we talk a lot about knowing which way to turn out of, when you do a turning escape with the heel hook. If your heel is exposed, you don't want to turn in such a manner that it breaks your own knee. Right now, Joe's heel isn't under control, but the grip that Danny applies with that grip on the knuckle line, it's similar to having the heel caught. So it's going to be very dangerous for Joe to turn fully to his right and do like a running man style escape. Danny extends it a little bit further. He's not on a good angle for the knee bar here, but he is in what's called an inside ashigarami. So he's got the leg in like an outside heel hook position, but his leg is heavily reaping over. If he could get a little bit more bend in Joe's leg, Joe would be in significant trouble here for the outside heel hook. Let's see why he turns. Danny just ditches on it. Okay, and then opts to try to pass to get the arm triangle. So Danny wasn't too far from a pretty nasty submission there. Just looked like he had to get through a few different grips to keep the heel under control. Dude, like, Tyler looks so different with his haircut. He's got this sharp looking mullet now. I wonder if the mullet makes him stronger. I feel like it makes him an all-around better athlete, more dangerous opponent. Get him some pit vipers, and Luke might have a harder time dealing with him. Good to see Alex back on the mat with Danny over here on the left side of or the right side of your screen. Good awareness from Alex, turning towards Luke, not letting his back get put under control. Yeah, so Z-Lock, I mean, you guys know how much of a like new wave terminology nerd I can be, especially when it comes to like the Japanese stuff. But I've shouted out that dude Jake from Less Impressed, More Involved before, that YouTube channel. He made a really good point in a video a long time ago about Z-Lock. For those of you wondering what that is, I referred to it as an inside ashigarami, just because or an inside, yeah, you can call it inside ashigarami. Your legs are on the inside, but you're still in like a cross ashigarami position where your hips are on the outside of the leg. Juni Ocasio, I don't know how active he is these days, but he was a pretty prominent competitor there for a while. I think Craig Jones did a video on it, but like this, what they called Z-Lock position. The problem that I had with that is that they also called the move, the submission itself, a Z-Lock. So I think it gets confusing when you call a position and a submission the same name. So when I heard the new wave guys referring to this as inside ashigarami, the position, that differentiates it a little bit better for me. And it, if I'm like yelling this to you guys in a competition, I'd rather have pretty straightforward names, not, unambiguous names for stuff like that. But yeah, Z-Lock is another thing people will call this position. It's where you have an outside heel hook with a huge reap, like we see Danny doing here, to that inside ashi position. So if you're ever confused about what a Z-Lock is, it's the same exact thing. Yeah, that's a great channel. He's got this tape study tool that he's working on that I signed up for that I think is going to be really, really awesome for anybody interested in really studying some great famous matches. Definitely worth checking out. I think it's called like Outlier Database or something. Yeah, Outlier Database. So Danny onto rear naked choke. What did Luke end that with? Oh, Luke. See Luke popping up triangles. I think he did that fairly recently with somebody. So Luke going to the trap triangle here, just crossed ankles behind the back, controlling the posture. Notice how he establishes a grip first, okay, before he ever, like that hand to shin, before he opens up the leg. Oh, now he switches. So he's going to a wrong way triangle here. He must have had a grip on that arm that we didn't. Can't really see. Okay, yeah, so he's got Tyler's arm extended, so he's controlling posture with the wrong way, quote unquote, triangle leg configuration, but he's attacking a straight arm here. It's hard to see, but that Udigarami, inverted armbar or whatever you want to call it. Nice little variation. And then Danny with the rear strangle on Alex. Let's see what we got here. So Danny playing a bottom game. And Danny gets the underhook and the sweep. And a powerful enough sweep to get Alex turning away a little bit extra. And that exposed the back. I'm going to say Alex maybe turned with that a little bit too much. And then stalled midway through the turn. Like, if you're going to do this, you better scramble away. It's going to be hard with Danny having that tight waist grip. Danny quick to come up. He knows that he needs to get a leg, some sort of control established, so he gets that bottom hook in first. Works to the post rear mounts, so neither hooks nor a body triangle, but stepping on the hip and having a shin across the waist, aka post rear mount. Ronnie making Cole miserable. Looking to isolate the arm from, I believe she's in mount. Yeah. Let's watch Cole get taken down, mounted, and subbed. So sits to guard a little too late. Ronnie works to north-south, gets the knees pointed away. That will ensure, or help to ensure, she retains the pass. It's going to be hard for Cole to turn into her with his knees pointed away. She needs to step over. There we go. Her leg's free. All right. Moving on through mount. Okay, so she got control of that wrist very early on and wisely kept it. It's hard to get Cole's arm isolated when he wins the arm back. Hard to get anybody's arm isolated. We got Coop working towards maybe a triangle here. Still stays on the arm. Okay, and then that's where she moves to get it to the outside, gets the straight arm lock. Slash somewhere between an Americana and a straight arm lock. Booty Garami. You'll have to show me the Booty Garami variation, Cole. Oh, now Cole on the attack. Not happy. Surfing around. No legs in yet. There he gets one. Danny with the armbar from the triangle. So Luke really working kind of a smashing pass style here. Enough to get by the knees. Cole, how'd you get? Oh, wait. Yeah. You're still in the same spot from where you were, right? Yeah. Okay. So far, end of leg lock week. I think I've only seen Danny with a leg attack and a slick entrance at that. Peter's working over here with Andrew. looks like a good Kimura trap example. Maybe? So Peter's working in like a mounted, kind of a, it's a side control. I wouldn't call it like a crucifix. Okay, so there gets up to the T Kimura position and is able to control Andrew. You tried one? What? You tried one on Joe? Or on your brother? Joe in a deep, deep armbar here. Nice. So very deep Kimura, like figure four grip. So that's good. Digging the heels in, getting the hips up off the mat for the armbar. If I saw Joe sagging here, I'd have to yell at him a little bit, but he's digging the heels back, pulling the arm through this way. Nice. Bloody nose. Ah, Joe. Bloody Cooper's nose. Happens with arm bars. Joe's rock hard hamstrings just were too much for the bridge of your nose, I guess. Luke working his way through the half guard, trying to take a big high step over into mount. Notice how Luke gets here. He, from top half guard, now he knows if I want to advance, you know, he can do a few things here. Normally you'll see guys, if they're like pressure players, they're gonna go look for their underhook on the, you know, in this case Luke's right arm will look for an underhook. Maybe heavy chest pressure, either chest to chest or chest to face. Left arm would be cross facing. Instead, Luke opts to use a Kimura threat. So really forcing the arm away from the body. There he sets up almost a figure four grip, more like a double, you know, 2-on-1. Steps the leg out. Here he's effectively passed, but he's not taking it just there. It looks like he wanted to go to mount. But look at the options he has. So he could continue to try to fight to mount, or he can come up around away from the legs, which I think is a fantastic idea. If Tyler's playing very tight down below, he's not letting Luke get a knee across, anything like that. Luke says, cool, all right, I'll just roll you up, expose your back. And Luke loves to go into the scissor, like the head scissor or whatever, work his way. If you defend that too well and your arm is vulnerable, he likes to move to the side triangle. And the whole time, he always has that Kimura that he could fall back on. I know he loves teaching that sequence. Very Danaher. We got Gavin. I'm not sure what Gavin was trying to do there. All right, we got Luke entering in on a leg here. Tyler doing well to fend it off. In order for this to work for Luke, he needs to get Tyler's weight heavily in this direction. You know, give Tyler a reason to base out to the right and leave his left leg behind. But Tyler's doing a good job trying to pressure. It looks like he's trying to pressure through, get the left leg down and back, trying to sprawl away. And Luke gave up on the deep half entrance there, possibly to a like an Arimi or an X guard or something. Good defense. Ronnie and Alex. Oh man. If you're gonna get an underhook, Alex, you gotta use it, dog. Oh, James here, right off the bat onto a cross ashi. How'd you get here? Did the round start and you were already there? It appears so. So Luke's defense in cross Ashi is not shabby at all, but I will say that times I've tapped Luke, I think most of the times it has come from cross or 50-50 when inside heel hooks were on the menu. So it's a good place to try to embarrass your coach. See how he escapes that. I mean, he's got his legs triangled. Gonna be difficult to separate. Yeah, I mean, nothing especially fancy here. He manages to sit up and close the distance, and pull his legs back. How could we have shut this down a little better? James, I would say if you want to continue on the attack with this, let's look at your leg configuration first. So right now your legs are open. You don't have like a closed reinforced loop around Luke's legs. You could see your feet here, ankles on cross. There's no figure four, nothing like that. That would be the first thing I would establish, because that means that the only thing holding Luke's right leg, the primary leg, in place is a hamstring curl, right? And that muscle will burn out pretty quickly. Oh, it's a false reap entrance. All right, nice, swaggy. When it comes to attacking, so do that, establish a better grip with your legs. When it comes to attacking, okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, I see the knee brace, but that's fine. We'll pretend like your knees are 100%, and we'll just look at this for the sake of it. Let's say so you tighten up your leg entanglement. When it comes to opening up his legs, I don't focus on a pull like this, right? You're attacking the primary leg, but it's so well reinforced. I'm gonna go straight down to the ankle, maybe the toe line, and pull that up into my armpit, right? The arm furthest from his hips. That completely takes away the triangle. At which point, if you can control that leg, and then maybe your left arm in this case can then go on the attack to like kind of where your right arm is, but on the opposite side. It can try to peel the foot open from there. Kind of trying. I probably think on the fly a bit more when I'm in that position, as opposed to having like a good systematic way of opening that up. But I guess the main point here is attack that leg first when you're trying to open it. Think about it in the same way when you open a body triangle. When someone's on your back, you're trying to pull this leg in between your legs, right? You're trying to get outside of that shin so you could pull it back in and then open up the body triangle. Same sort of principle. I hope that's clear, and if not, remind me in class. Ronnie with the sacrifice. Double overhooks. Right here. The sit through. The follow through. Love it. Just remind me, man. I know it's if I see it anywhere else tonight, I'll try to point out a better example of it. Gavin with the snap down, blocking that arm, maybe working for a go behind. Just working a front headlock position for now. Rolling through. Mike and Victoria over here. What did Ronnie get? So Ronnie off of that nice double overhook sacrifice makes her way to mount. And it looks like she's trying to farm some arms today. Harvesting another one here, similar to how she did it to Cole. Same position. And notice how she keeps her base a little off kilter, right? She's favoring one side, but she's got her legs kinked out in a way that make it very difficult for anybody to just roll her, like Upa style. And she can still go on the attack with a good base, despite the fact that her arms are busy breaking other arms. see you still trying to work that false reap, James. Luke will let you have one, but not another. Oh, now he put the smother on you. He just pretty quickly got to mount there, so just a big old high step over. Yeah, and he caught your arm in a bad spot before he got there, so as you were framing and he steps over, he just keeps the arm there. Notice he walks up right below the elbow in that transition over, so you never really had the time to adjust and bring your arm down to like frame his hips. Yeah. Cooper won't be the only one with the bloody nose. Got Joe trying to work a kipping escape. Got to get the knees together, ankles together, knees up in the butt, and framing the hips as you push away and do a little dolphin kick. Victoria made her way to Mike's back here. How so? Looks like Alex blocks a little bit. It looks like she made a dive for the back. Yeah, by the time Alex and Ronnie get away, we can't really tell. She gets on Mike's back here. She's going over the face, taking more of a Coach Luke approach to making it miserable enough that you expose your chin, or your neck, rather. Yeah, they're kind of turned away. It's hard to see how the grip fight works out, but she gets the tap. Gavin looking for the Katagatame. Just got to get the head down a little bit further, Gavin. Joe was ready for you. He swam his elbow down to get safe. Luke's probably thinking body lock passing here if he can get the lower back exposed. He's trying to crowd James's heels in. Oh, psych. Instead, just a quick little step around. Notice how he just kind of so gracefully skips around the legs, replaces his left knee with his right. So now he has flanked the legs completely, drives forward quickly to beat the knees, and by the time he's chest to chest, James didn't have an opportunity to get his knee elbow connection and set up a side guard. Luke's all fast now, he's all diced up. Ooh. James doesn't care though. James looking for that that little oh, no, not really. What happened here? So Luke goes a step over. It looks like Luke just gets completely off balance. I don't know if Luke is trying to like roll, if he's trying to turn backwards the other way. I don't get why he is so off balance here. But he completely, okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking. It was like he tried to do that sort of rolling move we see Daniel doing all the time. Trying to turn quickly, but James was not where Luke wanted him. That was a good reaction, James. Almost got the back. Nice way to stay past the guard there, James. Yeah, it was like you kept him surfing there for a minute before he could reestablish himself, and now he's having to deal with that Little tactical miscalculation. Gavin almost got a throw. Settles for close guard, which is fine. I'm glad to see close guard being used against bigger opponents. I think that's something that maybe some of us forget a little too much, myself included. James trying to send it right at the end here. So just little things here. I'm sure you probably already know what I'm going to say, James. Hands kind of low compared to the chin. We'll pretend like Luke isn't heel hooking you at the moment, because you did go on the attack. Elbow's not in a bad like you're getting your elbow behind you, which is fine. I would get, you know, bring your forehead to your hands for this one. And then I know I've talked about this in the past. You know, hip placement for Achilles locks. You typically want your hips further away from your opponent's hips. That is the exact opposite of what you want for heel hooks. And you're kind of in this heel hook hip position with an Achilles grip. So you're going to have to either use the Achilles for control, maybe continue working for a heel hook, or you're going to need to get your hips further away so you can get down the leg, get your hand to chin, you know, position and all that stuff. But fortunately, clock runs out before Luke goes on a counter heel hook attack. Either way, really good leg attacking. Happy to see you guys putting some stuff to use here. Coop and Mike, Joe and Ronnie. And we got Blake on the mat. All right, cool. I don't know if this is Blake's first. Is it? I think that's Blake. I don't know if this is her first open mat, but rad. Glad to see you sticking around and trying to put to use what you're learning. Andrew and Danny front and center. So on Thanksgiving. Oh, man, you I think you are more committed than most of the people in the chat if you were there on Thanksgiving. Show of hands, who was there on Thanksgiving? Pretty confident none of you were. Roasted like a turkey, dog. Can't wait to see Blake like just submitting purple belts. It'd be awesome. Though the purple belts will remain nameless. You can't. I bet you can drive. You're just too scared. I'm scared of you driving too, Cooper. I would have been there. I would have happily been there. But I was in Florida. Oh, give it time. Learning slows. You get beginner gains as a white belt. Learning new stuff is harder at upper belts. So you'll catch up to Cole and Danny and just start strangling them unconscious. Danny leaving a lot of space. Looked like he was looking to step over to an armbar, but settles back in for retaining mounts instead, which is a good option. Coop with the deepest body triangle, I think, possible. Got two little matchsticks crossed up around Mike's waist. I like your idea to switch as Mike goes to turn there, Cooper. Looks like he just got he was able to turn his hips out as you made the switch, but it's the right idea, in my opinion. All right. All right, Blake. So, well, let me see. Missed how this ended. So, all right, you get on Luke's back, get a strangle. Gets behind you, hits the takedown. All right, so I want you, Blake, I want you to notice you're in standing position, Luke's seated, right? So you're dealing with an open guard. Stronger than my legs, yeah. Sure, bud. Whatever you got to tell yourself. I want you to notice, Blake, Luke is prioritizing one thing in this position, and it's disrupting your base. You see how he's attacking your feet with his feet? He's trying to get his legs inside of your ankles to make it difficult for you to step around. He's probably telling you this right now. Oh, okay, no, he's talking about, he's giving you some passing strategies as far as like getting a single leg inside, driving up the middle. One tip I'm going to give you here, if you start, since you're starting to go live, when you're seated, when you're standing versus seated, I can't think of a single good reason for the standing person to be standing in a square stance, meaning their ankles, their feet are right next to each other. I'd rather see you take a staggered stance with one leg forward, one leg back. That will make attacks like, that much more difficult, right? He can't do that when you have one leg back and one leg forward. This double, it's called a double kouchi, or a dummy sweep, because you feel like a dummy when it happens to you. Makes it impossible when you have a leg back. So something to play around with. And then there's more to add to that from there, but that'll also dovetail nicely with what Luke's telling you about stepping in. So you notice you're working in a staggered stance right now. So those two ideas fit really well together, and you could continue on with that for now as you practice just moving around your opponent, passing your opponent, and improving your position. Ooh, Joe, nice switch. Looking to break Ronnie's leg. Ronnie's looking to not have it break. Look at that again. Oh, they were there for a second. Okay, so Joe dives in on deep half here. Nice. Good off balancing. So we saw before, I think it was Luke working with Tyler in a similar position, and I mentioned Luke wanting to get Tyler off balance in this direction to make the leg that he's attacking light and leave it, Tyler leaves it behind and it's easy to attack. In this case, Joe takes her in the opposite direction. It doesn't necessarily lead to an immediate isolation of that leg, but it does sweep Ronnie. It puts her butt on the ground, and then he could continue moving forward on isolating. So here he gets her down, rolls through. Now he's in business, and he could start getting to work. Ronnie's not in a great spot. I'd like to see, yeah, there we go. I would tuck that elbow down, Joe. Oh, all right, switching to a little reverse grip here, which is not a bad choice at all. Elbow to elbow, a little loose. It's now in this reverse ashi position. Joe, I'm happy to see you not immediately spamming the knee bar. I know you love the knee bar, and there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just happy to see you playing around with some other techniques from this position. So here, you're putting yourself in 50-50. All right, now you're back to a more asymmetric heel attack. So now you're back to outside ashi. Ronnie's like, nah, you ain't got it. Oh, I guess she did tap early on that one. Good. What did Danny do? Danny with an arm in guillotine, maybe? Oh no, there you go. Right to the, assume a Darce finish. Coop, good. You got to get your hips up and like elevate Mike's hips to help get him off balance. Alternatively, I want to see this foot. If you're done trying to sweep him with the Ashigarami and you're moving on to like maybe playing with X guard or looking for like a tripod variation, you could take this leg down behind the ankle instead. You're not going to get too much play at the knee unless you're trying to extend the knee out this way. If you're looking to trip, move it down to the ankle. But now, since Mike is really attacking, since he has your feet as his primary connection, I would pull this. I would pull your right foot down and just move to an X guard. Try to work an X guard sweep. What are those? I will show you at class, because if you don't know what X guard is, I'm not going to make it any clearer trying to explain it with words. So please, please, please remind me tomorrow if you're there, and I will happily go over it with you. I can guarantee you've seen it before. You've probably played it before. It's just, again, names are important, right? Blake working. Looks like Luke's working you through the Katagatame arm triangle. Forehead of the mat. Big old strangle. Love it. Danny on the heel hook as well. Again, working that Z-lock position, or I was going to say an inside Ashi, but really just a heavy reap from Irimi. So Coop almost has Peters in a Goga Plata right now, and I don't think Austin is watching, but I'm sure he'd be happy to see that. Coop, a Gogo Plata. Feel free to look it up. You're not quite there, but just think about reaching up behind Mike's head and pulling his neck down into your shin. And that's basically a Gogo Plata. You don't really see them too frequently ever, but they're a thing. Spelling: Gogo Plata. Or if you're French, Go-Go. All right, Braden's been off on the side. I haven't seen much of him yet. Braden with the underhook and collar tie. Luke get that takedown. Oh, Ronnie wanted the throw. Luke didn't want to go with her. Joe with the arm drag to the back. Rear trip, gets the takedown. Excellent. Gavin, let's see. Gavin working the closed guard break. Mike pops him down. Gavin doesn't care. This is good. Ankles up and away to the pass. That's what's up. Love it. Yeah, Go-Go's were, I think they, like, back in, I don't know, this was years ago in MMA. I think in Pride one showed up. Maybe it was like Shinya Aoki did one. I think that was the first time I ever saw it. I don't know. They pop up every once in a while. We got Joe on the back up high. So the arm is trapped, but that knee is high up over the shoulder. I would almost, at that point, I'd be looking to move to a rear triangle rather than a rear mount. Just because, why not? I'd rather strangle you with my legs and go on the hand fight in the rear mount position. All right, Coop, you're doing okay here, right, with this standing. I just want you to commit to a full stand a little earlier. And if Danny breaks you back down, that's fine. Just come back down to your knees, get your posture back under control. Here, his legs are open. I need you to recognize that a little bit earlier and try to step your right knee over his left knee. There you go. Yeah. he is in control. Luke working his way to 3/4 mount against Ronnie. I think he's going to try to take the back here. He's trying to get that top arm under control, and I imagine he's pulling that left knee up behind her head, and then he can sit. Oh, all right, switches it up. Looked like he was going to do a chair sit, but he goes armbar instead. Now, Ronnie's doing a good, strong defense, and he's got to navigate the grip fight. There we go. Notice when he breaks this grip, he does something I really love to see. He's not grabbing individual fingers, right? Because that's illegal and mean and it hurts, and we don't want to break each other's fingers. Instead, he's grabbing the knuckle line. When someone, I find when someone makes gable grips, like think about dorsal Kimura position, and they get their hands like this, and they go to, you go to pull, and that gable grip works so well in tension. When you can dig your thumb in to the in underneath the palm of their hand and grab the knuckle line, it makes that grip so much weaker. And this is perfectly legal. You just have to make sure you're not grabbing, any less than 3 fingers. I think it I don't know. It probably depends on the rule set, but like 3 fingers, I think you can get away with, but it doesn't really matter. Just grab the whole knuckle line, or alternatively, you can try to peel the thumb off of the grip and open the hand up that way. Trying to not get another bloody nose. Okay. That's fair. 2-in-1 open mat can be annoying. I pretty much just get a seasonal bloody nose. Fall and winter roll around here, and I dry out, and I get one smother tap from Luke, and I just have a bloody nose for like the next 6 months. I hate it. Justin just about getting to Alex's back here, but Alex does a really good job fending it off. All right, good. He's maintaining a top position. Top half guard, looking to step over. Just about off screen here. Doesn't do it, man. It's not enough. A 4 or 5 day trip back to Florida where you're essentially inhaling saline spray all day, every day. That can help. Danny with a... See how we got this. Got a fancy Darce here. Oh, slow, and he knew he had it early on. I think he was Coop. I think he was giving you a chance to recognize your vulnerability here. I like this entrance from Danny though. So bottom open guard. Pass completely. This is actually very similar to, believe it or not, the first way I learned how to Darce, which was off of that Ghost Pass or Ghost Escape, whatever you want to call it. Danny doesn't have the same arm configuration here, but he's doing a very similar entrance where he's going to pendulum his body around, and from there, normally you would have this arm framing, and then this arm is on the hip, right where you want it. And as he comes around, notice he gets that arm frame in, and he's pretty much in the perfect spot to set up that Darce. So right there, a second ago, let's make sure I'm thinking about it right, because we've all spun around now. I believe that's his left arm. Was that the one framing his hip? Let's go back, make sure I'm not. Okay, his right arm comes off the hip. That's what it is. Yeah, I love that entry. The Ghost Escape makes it look super slick, but yeah, he caught you looking there, Coop. That's all right. I honestly think, and I'm being totally stereotypical here, Cooper, I think you're going to be very good at Darces when you learn them, when you take the time to play around with them. It's a long-armed man's move for sure. Doesn't mean other people can't do them. I've Darced people before. I just really, really need to make sure I am very deliberate in the setup. But Danny is like the king of darces at the school. Definitely someone to talk to. I'll happily show you what I know. Danny will show you even more on the darce. So ask him if you're curious. Make him teach you. Let's see. We got Gavin over here. He and Mike working on the straight ankle. I think the straight ankle. Oh, and Andrew and James. All y'all getting all crowded. And Cole, is that you and Blake or you and Victoria? I think you and Victoria. How have you guys been doing? She's working close guard, not doing open guard. Trying to stand, good, big sprawl. Yeah, you might need a translator. James coming up off his bottom half. Oh, okay. That's what it is. Andrew sits back for the Irimi Ashi. Andrew, if you're going to do this, I'd say get up off of your left leg first. Like you're falling over your left leg, folded underneath you. And you can see James doesn't have to try too hard to beat you in that position. So you basically just gave up a sweep. Like you gave up top position or a top half guard, went to bottom half guard. Not the most ideal. And then now James made his way past you. There's a mental switch that kind of has to take place somewhere around, white and blue belt, where you really start choosing to not play from the bottom. Which is weird because, this whole sport is about learning how to ground fight. So you think playing from the bottom is the way to go. And sometimes it is. But I definitely had to just make it a mental change. Like I am not going to be put down and kept down. And if I am, they definitely earned it. So I'm gonna start considering Andrew. I'd say just I don't want to see you guys flopping over like that and easily giving up those positions. Sorry, I keep rewinding and not saying why. James from side control, attacking the far arm, moving to a figure four up to that dorsal Kimura position. Head scissors, same attack we saw Luke doing earlier. And then I love this, man. This is exactly when I've tried head scissors, this is how it turns out. They don't work for me. So I either gather the far arm for the side triangle or I come back up onto the Kimura. Happy to see you guys with the Kimura grip saying, I'm just going to switch and come back up. Step over the head, very nice. James, only other thing I'd add to this is closing this distance up between let's say between your shoulder and his hip. This isn't essential, but think about pinning him, crossways, right? Your leg up by his right shoulder. Let's get something down by his left hip to help immobilize him a bit. It didn't matter much in this case. You had his arm pretty well isolated, but from there you can start, dialing in your Kimura finishing mechanics and all that. But either way, really happy to see the switch back to the Kimura after you had kind of switched away from it. I refuse to. That's it, man. That's all it is. Every day, wake up, look in the mirror, point at yourself in the mirror. Say, I refuse to accept bottom position. Standing guillotine. Gets it. Just off a little. Yeah, nothing too special there. He just kept his head low. Nice. Yeah, so what Joe's doing right now is very tiring. Just hanging all the weight on the head. Try not to hang out there too long if I can avoid it. Either by, you know, swiveling out to the side, stepping through and turning, or just throwing them off of me and resetting. Not a fun spot to be caught in. All right, Blake, other big thing here. When you're grappling with somebody wearing a brace on their limb, focus on attacking that limb. That's all I have to say about that. But no, this is good. All right, you're on his back. Looking for the rear strangle. Looking for the arm trap. Excellent. You have... Looks like you have 2 strangle arms. So that makes it very easy for James to turn. When I say 2 strangle arms, if that's not clear, what I mean is the way your right arm is over the shoulder. I'm guessing, just by the way James is able to move, your left arm is also over the shoulder instead of under the arm. If it's under the arm, we call that a control arm. If it's over the shoulder, we call it a strangle arm, because you can strangle him with it. Problem is, when you have 2, you can really throw a flurry of threats at someone's face and chin and neck to get under the chin. But the problem is they could turn their shoulders fairly well and start working on escapes. When you have one control arm or underhook and then 1 strangle arm, it makes it difficult for them to turn out as you're going on the attack on the neck. Got my first sub in a tournament. She said with the arm trap with arms. Yeah. What was how you got your first sub, Coop? Was it the 2 strangle arms? I mean, that's how Luke loves to do it. Luke will play the straitjacket game from time to time, but I think more often than not, he's so quick and rather precise with his forearm, with his cross facing, that he opens it up. Oh, attacking at a brace. Excellent. True representative of Mooresville Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu right there. I mean, in a competition, yeah, I actually do fully endorse going for the braced up limb. All right, Andrew. So I don't think, just because I can see your elbow, I don't think this guillotine is very tight. So since Justin made it to the cross side, like his hips are across your body, his head's on the other side, this is a time where you want to let go of that guillotine and just focus on framing. If you had that deep, like high hand guillotine that Gary Tonin was showing us forever ago, then you can get away with it here. But if not, let that thing go, frame him, and start getting your guard back. It was bright green. Yeah, I mean, green means go, dude. Go attack that limb. I mean, more power to him for showing up to a competition with probably some sort of nagging injury. Yeah, maybe hide it a little better. Wear a camo one so we can't see it. Did I miss something here? Oh, Ronnie's just taking pictures. I was like, what is happening? Oh, so now Joe just laying on. Oh, Joe Bertram tapped him here. Bertram is the only person I know who can really make this shoulder pressure so miserable that you will tap. And if you don't, you will probably go unconscious. You don't really see that too frequently, but if you can get their shoulder crammed up into their neck and put a good amount of pressure on the other side with your shoulder, no reason why you can't make someone go unconscious there. Or just so uncomfortable that they tap. I don't know what Alex was feeling, but I don't blame him either way. It's on his wrist, and I armbarred him. All right, well, if it was on his wrist, then that just makes his wrist a little extra grippy. Yeah, exactly. I'm all for it, man. There we go, Andrew on a leg attack, but not really in an attacking position now. Now he is. He's got that leg across so that Justin's right leg is more isolated. Justin's got him here, though. If Justin can sprawl back and get that leg back, Andrew is in some trouble. Andrew could have gotten out of this if he had inverted maybe a little bit faster and then gotten Justin off balance. Okay. Andrew's a little bit better now. He's not in immediate danger. But he is getting passed off of that leg attack. And there is back exposure. Joe with a nice sweep. Alex with a good takedown here. Let's see. Yeah, it just doesn't come up in time. You gotta be a little bit faster on that, Alex. And then crowding behind the legs so that Joe can't regard. Joe regards with butterflies, double overhook. Pretty easy butterfly sweep from there. Everybody's so tired. Y'all are all fat and out of shape from Thanksgiving. Winded. I would be too. I actually popped a button off of my shorts that I was wearing the day after Thanksgiving. I don't know why I told you guys that, but I did. It happened. My wife saw it, and it was embarrassing. I go to sit down in the driver's seat of the car, and it just went, wow. My motivation of body shaming you. Danny quickly succumbing to a triangle. Looked like Danny didn't want any of that smoke, especially on the neck. I assume this was cranking on his neck a little bit. Oh no, I think Luke actually has a bicep slicer here. Interesting. You don't see that too frequently from this position. I think Danny's arm is just trapped, and as Luke kind of digs in and extends, yeah, looks like a bicep slicer. We got 100% sweep. Don't make fun of me, Cole. I will pick apart this move and tell you everything you did wrong. Joe, I like what you're doing here, trying to keep Cole's knees from getting to the ground. I want to see you step behind the legs. There you go. Yeah, this is no bueno. This is a bad spot to be in. Honestly, Joe, from here, I'm rolling, man. I'll probably, yeah, I would jump through that 100% because I'm not dealing with that. That sucks, man. So looks like maybe I don't know how your head is cranked up here, if at all. That looked like maybe I'm not gonna call it like a can opener, but I mean like kind of neck cranky, not like an illegal sort of move, but like you're just in such a deep half Nelson. That sucks. That really sucks. I'm trying to think about what I would do here. So, because I would have done the same thing, step over the leg, but now you're kind of caught. Cole makes a great adjustment here. I don't know, man. You might be... The step over the leg may have just been a bad move that I'm trying to learn from this one too. Maybe not. I don't know. Staying so committed on the legs seems to be the real root of this problem. It's almost like let Cole get to his knees to try to salvage the double. Because, yeah, from here, he just traps you. That's a tough one, man. Good adjustment. Good finish, Cole. Shoulder? Okay. Position. Oh. Let's see if we can. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty awful. Yeah, I would have tapped too. In fact, I think I have been tapped from there before. Probably from Cole, as a matter of fact. Alright, so the restart. Joe looking loosey-goosey. Good stack passing here. So, Cole, making it difficult for Cole to establish any connection here. A little misdirectional footwork. And then beating the legs, rolling Cole up over the back. Good pass. I approve. Whose B-Day? Whose birthday was it? Luke deep on a Kimura here. Let's see if he uses it. He's either going to rip this Kimura out or, yeah, that's what I figured. Using it to get to the back. What the hell happened? I look away for 1 second. Joe gets to the rear naked choke. Nice. Oh, it was Baker's birthday? I didn't get an alert on my phone. Gonna have to mark it. Give him his birthday spankings tomorrow. Joe, you better be at class, bud. I'm gonna sub you 40 times, one for every year. Joe working to north-south now. Oh, Cole's got this grip that too often works. Good wide base with your legs, Joe, to try to shut that down. It's not even that isn't always going to be enough. Yeah, Cole, you almost had something there. Nice, good adjustment. That seems to be. I mean, I will give Cole good props on the hip movement here, like getting up to here. Just sucks. Joe was basically riding you the whole time. He had the hook in ahead of you, but that, I think if you had shaken that hook, you probably would have completely taken that position over. So you're down now. Joe in on a leg. So Cole, from here, I would be looking to stand. It's going to be your best bet. You've got good back exposure, right? This is the danger. Peters talks about this a lot. This is the danger of that outside ashi that Joe's working right now. He doesn't have your heel exposed. And most importantly, this leg of yours, your secondary leg, the one not under attack, is pulled back, right? It's you can very easily work to a standing position from here. When you stand, your foot is flat. The primary foot is flat. Kind of still not standing. Well, kind of start standing because you're not getting out of it like this. that foot is flat, so your heel is safe, your Achilles is safe, and you could start to peel the legs open and get back to work. A second ago, well, I guess you did kneel. I was going to say you did start from standing, but you went to a kneeling position. But that's the idea. You can work that standing position, and then you could start to either just get your legs safe, you could look to take the back. Most importantly, you just don't get tapped. You could also, if you want to sit in the pocket there, you could go on like a counter leg lock attack with like toe holds or something like that. Those are also an option. Joe getting sneaky here. Working his way to a triangle, but that bottom leg is still trapped in like a half guard position. Good adjustment, Cole. Cole, I just think you went back in front of the legs a little too soon. Like, you got around the legs. I would have just tried to move to north-south, and get to work from there since you would pass the guard. All right, active round. Here we go. Looks like Luke going for the arm drag trip, I think. Yeah, so this is good. Kind of shows the contingency built into this move. Arm drag. He drops low and tries to shoot his leg in. The blurry leg shooting to the inside as he falls. That was purposeful. That wasn't a slip or anything. Joe extracts the leg, but he's got it with the arm now instead and is up on a single. Switch into a double. See, Joe's holding it off. I'd like to see Luke stand up and take that leg up nice and high. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. And Joe almost countering. Falling into an outside Ashi. You're going to have to get him off balance from there, Joe. Mike there to translate. So the big difference here with Luke and Joe, right? We just saw Joe in an outside Ashi on Cole, but he had Cole's primary leg extended. At this point, Luke got his leg safe, so he's not. You'll see Luke isn't playing that standing game that I was just advising. Early on, he gets his leg back, even though Joe starts to make a connection to it between the crossface and the heel being far away. Luke's totally safe, so he doesn't have to play that standing escape game. He can stay down and control Joe's spine via the head and sprawl away to the point where he is already in a pass. If you think about it, he's already behind Joe's legs. Now it's just much more apparent. Blake working some loose passing. You'd be really surprised in a flurry of movement just how flinging the legs by like this, just how effective it can be. But movement is is required for that. Why'd you feel bad? You felt bad strangling Danny? You felt bad as in you felt like your skills were bad? What felt bad? ever look at the camera again, I'm gonna Photoshop you. Throwing his legs. Oh, Blake. Throw them harder, and then you're gonna learn much more mean things than that. No, I'm just kidding. Don't feel you've got to get him. Think about it like this: you've got to get by his legs. That is absolutely essential. Danny has the power of his hips. He's got the grips from his hands, and he's got the mobility of his legs to counteract all that. So doing it with doing it in an assertive, aggressive way is expected, and that's exactly what we need you to do. I mean, come on, you've seen plenty of more things aggressive than that done here, and doesn't mean you got to be like mean and dropping elbows across faces or anything like that, but do the moves with purpose. That's really what I'm trying to say. I think we've seen Joe a few times this round trying to take the back from some more athletic positions, like coming up from the bottom, coming through on inversions. Very good skill to develop. So we see Luke playing real heavy around that top leg, keeping the knees pinned together. If you can't separate them, you can often pull them together and smash them that way. It's a nice dilemma Luke likes to play. Another dilemma Luke likes to play is, I don't know if you call it a dilemma, but he, when you go to kip, he answers it with a smother. Since your hands are nowhere near your face, kind of leaves your face wide open for it. See him doing it here again. Now he's getting a reaction out of you. A pissed off one. But look at the seizure Joe has in anger. But notice, hands are low, so Luke goes up high. And then really, even if Joe got safe here, he's given Luke not an isolated arm, but a somewhat open elbow that Luke would then try to exploit. He doesn't have to. Joe is shaking with anger. But yeah, you always hear me reminding you guys, even if you're not getting the smother, it often leads to very good reactions that you can exploit. Blake, another thing to keep in mind, the higher the belt, the more aggressive you can be with them. So Danny's a purple belt, Mike's a brown belt. Beat them up with reckless abandon if you want. Other white belts, yeah, take it easy, flow, do the moves you learn, drill them at whatever speed you want. But then, yeah, when you wanna test some stuff out, do not be shy. I mean, Joe was trying to murder Luke in that round. I am a brown belt. You can beat me up as much as you want. Take Luke as an example. Constantly smothering me and clubbing me in the head, and he bites me, pokes my eyes, pulls my hair, all sorts of stuff. It's the only way he taps me. I wasn't gonna say it, Cole. So Mike is shutting down that almost really nice sweep you had. Let's see if he can get out of this. I'm curious. I don't know if Mike. This is not a move I think about. Steven may be the only one I know who's actively pissing people off with it, but the dog bar, that it's just a knee bar. It's just a knee bar, but it's done with like the legs. Like you knee bar somebody with your legs. I'm curious if this would have been a good spot to try to attempt that. Cole, you gotta get your hips up, hips up, hips up. There you go. Right in the mount. Nice. Joe and Andrew leaning heavily towards each other. Quick level change, but no shot. Remember, man, when someone's leaning into you, pushing into you, just pull them down. And then when they quickly resist that, blast double them. Or, you know, whatever. One, reach down on the leg, little snatch, single leg, run the pipe. Good. Pretty fundamental, Joe. Looks good. Let's zoom ahead. We're getting late here. I've been on the road all day and I'm not staying up late watching you people flail around on the mat while I haven't been able to flail for days. Mike going for a mounted triangle here, it looks like. Possibly an armbar. All right, so Mike hits the roll, grabbing his shin. This is to help him get to, I'm assuming he's doing this to help him get to the angle and the actual triangle of his legs. Typically the reason why most people opt to roll from a mounted triangle, but Cole's got he's almost got his hand completely out. His hands are connected here, so he's in a good spot to save himself, which he does. Keeps the legs pointed away. Fast forward to being Joe's last round. It's coming, man. Relax. Now you're getting under the hip. It's better. What happened there, Joseph? What was the tap for? Did they think the round was over? I didn't see you get you tapped to something. I guess, I don't know. I don't know. What did Mike get? Oh, Mike gets, Cole, what did Mike get here? Is this a reverse triangle on you? It looks like your arm. Yeah, I think your arm was in. Oh, wrist lock. All right, I got you. Dirty. Yeah, Mike. It looks like Mike gets the reverse triangle here. I did not see that coming. Damn, solid adjustment by Mike. Cole did not see it coming either. All right, end of the round. Mike with a good wing sweep there. Yeah, I did not anticipate that. That was a really solid adjustment. Mike's looking fresh for the end of the open mat. You let him eat a whole Thanksgiving meal and all of a sudden he's Superman, I guess. Coming up with the shoulder lock sweep. We'll hit the highlights here, Joe. I won't embarrass you with being steamrolled the whole match. All right, so makes his way to the back here. Looks like maybe he's got a gift wrap. And he's working the crab ride with that outside leg just to keep you turned away. He's got the other hook in place. Kind of a loose body triangle there. Now that looks a little bit better. Bottom side body triangle. I know Peters is really trying to work on the straitjacket system, so expect to see some aggressive hand fighting here. Not over the face like Luke likes to do, but good escape, Joe. This is a good example, Blake, of what I was talking about earlier with that double strangle arm situation. So right now Mike doesn't have a control arm, right? He doesn't have an arm underhooking. Both of his arms are above Joe's shoulders. That's what allows Joe to do this. He gets his shoulders to the mat, and then now Mike knows, unless he makes a pretty drastic move here, he's lost the back. He accepts losing the back, and that's why we see him instead scramble up to mount. But I hope that clarifies what I was talking about with the arms over top of the shoulders rather than having one arm underneath. Coming up to mount, though, and he goes actually for the Katagatame on the far side. Normally you'll try to see people do it on the side they come around from. So normally you see people, in this case it would be like Mike would sneak his left arm to an underhook under Joe's left armpit and over the right side of his neck. But instead he has to get up here and then get to work. Joe, you just got caught with your arm up too high. That's all that was. And Peters isn't going to let you have that back. Let's see. Sort of leg magic he does to you here. So setting up to an Arimi, inverting. Now he's in almost to a cross entrance. Okay. He's got that one butterfly. Yeah, that's all he needs. Joe, the reason he's doing that so seemingly effortlessly is just because how forward you're pressuring right now. He's got the right arm trapped. Your butt's away from your heels. He's just gonna keep it going. This is where you would normally just roll me over, but this is post-Thanksgiving Mike, so it's not going to happen easily. What was that? I guess just a north-south choke? Because it looks like he's got your arm crossed up here. Oh, it's a Darce, okay. Right? Yeah. Yeah, that was a good Warpath round from Peters there. Mike, how much you weighing now after Thanksgiving? I don't know why I asked. I can't talk any smack. I popped a button on my shorts. And I told you guys, like an idiot. Half Nelson. There we go. Nice chin into the chest. Pressure, get Joe turned over. Yeah, you can take the back from here. You lost weight. Okay. Yeah. Maintaining sounds much more likely. Yeah, Cole, you should have been able to take the back here. Just by, I would just prioritize getting that left knee up behind Joe's back, like north of his shoulder line. But right now, see how your arms are extended? Well, the one thing I'd focus on before that is getting his elbow, like getting an underhook under Joe's top arm, his right arm in this case, with your right arm. If you get that arm trapped, then I think you're good to go on the back take, but Joe might be denying you that, which is why you didn't take it. There's also that sweet ninja roll that you could do. You just have to come sit your butt over Joe's knees, keep him together, and then roll, in this case, over your right shoulder facing to your left, yada yada. You don't know what I'm talking about, but the fun fancy back take. Yeah, again, see, that's what I think would have happened if you tried to take the back in that last spot. You don't have the underhook, so this claw grip across the body, you might be able to salvage it, but you're going to need to, you need to plant this foot and scoot your hips this way, like pretty drastically, in order to get the back there. Again, not bad if you can just go back to mount. That's a good backup, but that's the I think that's why that wouldn't have worked without the underhook. Guys are just chatting. Okay, now we're on a smother. And Joe's got his arms extended. Oil checks. There is actually, I don't know. I haven't tried to mess around with it yet, but from a reverse close guard, where if Joe could wrap his legs over Cole's torso, I mean, it's think about a reverse mount where you're facing their feet instead of their head, and then like roll to your back. That's a reverse close guard. And this dude, Abe, I'm blanking on his last name. He's an up and comer, I think, in New Wave, and he does a thing called the Abe lock that he's putting out there. That's essentially a toe hold, or like a lens lock, if you guys are familiar with that. But it's done from that reverse close guard position. And it's I don't know, it's something I want to hit on one of you. Maybe I'll try it on Cooper, just because. So another attempt on like a 100%er grip there, but Joe is not falling for it this time. Gets to side control. And then now, see if he advances his position or goes on the attack on the arm. Kind of the two main options from side control. Unless you're James and you decide to sit in the cross ashi. So taking mount, getting the arm isolated above the head to this Americana grip. What are you going to do with it, man? Now it's gone. Ride into a higher mount. We're starting to get Cole's elbows isolated a bit. Kids are going crazy. So here we go, onto the Katagatame. Nice quick dismount, but Cole was ready for that. Joe, another thing you could consider, I would continue working on your Katagatame from there with the one arm isolated. Something I like to try to do is when I get one arm isolated, I try to get the second arm isolated too. That opens up S mounts, smothers, Katagatame as well. S mount leads to mounted triangles and arm bars and all sorts of stuff. All right. Looks like you guys end it Cole on top, getting that arm isolated. And I don't know if a tap came from this. Maybe a verbal. I don't know. All right. What's up with all the red names in on the chat? I don't know, dude. I don't control that. I don't even know if you guys control that. I don't know how any of that works. Just be happy it's there. All right. Cool. That wraps up leg lock week. So we move on from there to close guard. So if any of you are new and you haven't, like Blake, I don't know if you started with us at close guard. You may have started in the middle. So now we're moving back to, all the way back to the beginning with some good old fundamental Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving. Thank you so much, as I know our schedule has been off during the last few weeks, just with travel and all that stuff. Half guard. All right. Well, yeah. Then you've seen some good fundamental stuff already. That's pretty deep. We go closed, open, and then half. So yeah, that's good. Happy Thanksgiving to you too, Cole. Let's see. I think, as far as I know, we're wrapped up on competitions for the rest of the year. We'll have to get the schedule. I'll have to dive deep on the schedule, see what it looks like going into the new year. Have a good one, Blake. What else? What was... Huh? Wait, what? What weeks this week? Oh, yeah, close guard. Anything else? I don't know. As always, bring any questions you guys have to class. Anything I mentioned that is utterly confusing, let me know. We'll go over it. Follow us here if you're lurking in the chat. Subscribe if you like what you're seeing. You can support us at coffee.com/MOBJJ, and you can support us at YouTube by subscribing over there, where we will put this for you guys for review for all eternity. We'll leave it at that tonight. I hope you guys are ready to train hard and all that good stuff. Got a list of them. Good. Please bring them all to class. Ask Danny about your darces. Ask Mike about your leg locks. And whatever else I mentioned. In the meantime, guys, go trim your nails. Do your laundry. Do not be stinky. And I will see you guys back on the mats. Take it easy. Thanks.